Hey, Chris here from IELTS Advantage, and this is part 2 of 2 of our step-by-step guide on how to write Task 2 double questions. If you missed lesson 1, all you have to do is just click the little pop-up banner and that will take you to lesson 1. If you haven't seen lesson 1, I'd really recommend watching that before you watch lesson 2. And if you have already watched lesson 1, without further ado, let's continue on with the lesson. So now that we have generated our ideas, we can put those into a structure. And I'm going to give you just one simple structure that I have used with my VIP students, and it has produced amazing results over the years. And structures are very, very useful because you can just take your ideas and then put them into this structure, and it creates a plan, it creates a map for your essay. So paragraph 1, what we're going to do is we're going to write our introduction. And in our introduction, we're going to paraphrase the question statement and briefly answer both questions. Then in paragraph 2, we're going to answer question 1 in detail. Paragraph 3, we're going to answer question 2 in detail. And then paragraph 4, we're going to finish off with our conclusion by summarizing our answers to both questions. So our introduction, we're going to say, this is what I'm going to argue. Then our first main body paragraph, answer question 1 in detail. Second main body paragraph, question 2 in detail. And then in our conclusion, paragraph 4, we're going to summarize the answers to both questions. This makes it very easy for you to write your essay, but most importantly, it makes it very easy for the reader, for the examiner, to really understand what you think about both questions. So everything that we're doing is just making it really easy for the examiner to give you a band 7 or above. And it does not need to be any more complicated than that. In fact, your introduction gives you the entire structure for your entire essay. We'll look at that in a second, but it's really important to emphasize the point that you don't get extra marks for fancy, complicated structures. There's no such thing as like a band 9 because the person's structure was really intricate and complicated. You get a band 7, 8, or 9 for using a structure that allows you to organize your essay in a logical way and clearly answer the question, clearly show what you think about the question. So what do I mean by the introduction gives you the structure for the rest of the essay? So your introduction, you're going to paraphrase the question statement. Then you're going to answer question 1 and answer question 2. So you should be able to look at this introduction and know exactly what you're going to write in the rest of your essay, because your main body 1 is going to be answering question 1. So you look here in your introduction, okay, I'm going to write this. Then you're going to write your topic sentence. You're going to answer question 1 in your first sentence. It's just going to be a short, simple sentence answering the first question. Then you're going to explain that answer, and then you're going to give an example supporting that answer. So topic sentence, answer the question, explain, and then give an example. And this is not 3 sentences. You shouldn't really think about the number of sentences or the number of words even really. What you should focus on is quality over quantity. You should focus on writing an effective topic sentence, explaining it effectively, and giving an effective example so that you produce a very high quality paragraph. A lot of students get hung up on how many words, how many sentences. Should it be a simple sentence? Should it be a complex sentence? If you just forget about all of that and just really focus on producing a paragraph that clearly answers the question, you don't have to worry about anything else. Then we look back at our introduction. Okay, answer question 2. So we take this, put it into our second main body and do exactly the same thing. Write the answer to the question, explain, example. And then in our conclusion, it's a summary of answers to both questions. All right, so introduction, this is what I'm going to talk about. Here's the detail of what I'm going to talk about. Here's a summary of what I just discussed. Again, this makes it easy for you and easy for the reader, the examiner, to understand what you think about both questions. Double question, 2 questions. The examiner just wants to know What do you think about both of these questions? And our structure will also serve as our plan. Why do we want a plan? Well, it's really like having Google Maps. You would never say to someone, oh, I don't want to use Google Maps because it's a waste of time. Let's just walk around this city and try and find where we're going ourselves. You would use Google Maps because it saves you a huge amount of time. Exactly the same with planning your answer. You will invest a little bit of time putting all of the information into this plan, into this structure, but it's going to save you a huge amount of time when you're actually writing your essay. So our introduction, paraphrase the question, answer question 1, we just put in our idea here, investment. Answer question 2, negative because no freedom. So we're not putting in full sentences, you're just putting in enough information to help you write the essay. Answer question 1, can save money over time. Explain, mortgage payments contribute to net worth each month. An example, immigrants in Canada. So this is just a basic plan that we can quickly write before we start writing, and that's going to save us a huge amount of time when we're writing and make sure that our writing is clear, organized, coherent, cohesive. Answer question 2, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Negative because it forces you to work for the mortgage, which means you've no freedom. If mortgage isn't paid, the house can be taken off you. Answer, young people not getting mortgages. That's our example. Conclusion, just summary of answers to both questions. So how much easier would it be for you to write your essay if you have everything planned out? So as you can see, it's all part of this system that we're using. Understand the question first, then generate ideas, then think about structure, then populate the structure to create your plan. Now you're ready to write your essay. So writing our introduction, let's start off with the first part. Take the question statement and paraphrase. So every task 2 question has a question statement. It's the bit that it starts with, and you take that and you paraphrase it. Then you briefly answer question 1, and then you briefly answer question 2. Not 3 sentences, it might be 2 sentences, it might be 3 sentences, it might be 1. What you should focus on is write a high quality paraphrase and then clearly answer both questions. So let's have a look at what our student did when they were writing their introduction. So I've put the question up here again for 2 reasons. One, to make it easy for you to understand what we're doing, but also, you should always be referring back to the question. When you're writing your introduction, always be referring back to the question. So, in many nations, home ownership has greater importance than paying rent. So what they've done is they have taken the question statement and they paraphrased it. They have changed enough of the words so that the words are different, but it means exactly the same thing. So this sentence and this sentence mean exactly the same thing, but we have used different words. Why might this be the case? We need to answer this question. This is because many feel a mortgage is a better investment for the future. That's answering question 1 briefly, just very simple, briefly. However, I do not believe this is advantageous because it reduces a person's freedom. So do you think this is a positive or negative development? This person is saying, I think that it's negative because of this reason. They've briefly answered that question. So you should be able to read this introduction and know exactly what this person thinks about both of those questions. You could show that introduction to anybody on the streets of London today or the streets of New York today and show them that and say, do you understand what this person thinks about this question? And 99% of people would have to say yes. Why? Because it's extremely clear. It's extremely well organized. So the first part of our plan, we have done that. Now we need to move on to the second part of our plan, which is write our main body. Okay, let's have a look at what our student has done with the first main body paragraph. So I've put the introduction up here for 2 reasons. One, to help you guys, but to show you that you should always be referring back to the introduction. So when you're writing your introduction, referring back to the question, and now that you have produced a very clear, coherent, well-organized introduction, you can refer back to this. So This is because many feel a mortgage is a better investment for the future. So we're going to take this and we're going to write about it in detail. Millions of people take out a mortgage on a home each year because they want to save for the future. So this is why people do this. We need to then explain why they do this. They think that each mortgage payment contributes to their overall net worth, and this money cannot be taken away from them. This is because each month they reduce the size of the loan and increase their equity in the property, and many use this to fund their retirement. For example, many Indian immigrants living in Canada detest paying rent because they feel it is wasted money. So we've included our topic sentence. This is what I think about the question, explained why you think that, and an example to support our main idea. Let's have a look at what they did in the second paragraph. So we need to look at our introduction again. However, I do not believe this is advantageous because it reduces a person's freedom. So we take that answer and we go into it in detail. However, I think a mortgage dramatically reduces one's life choices. This is to say that monthly payments on a house loan must be paid no matter what, or the person may have their home taken from them. This relentless pressure to pay on time means that people stay in steady jobs rather than taking the risk of starting a new career, becoming an entrepreneur, or traveling the world. For instance, this is one of the main reasons why young people are far more likely to change their life paths than older people, because they are less likely to be punished by banks for taking these risks. So what the person has done is, topic sentence, they have answered the question, explained why they think that, and then given an example to help them support that main idea. So we can look back at our plan. We've done this, we've done this, we've done this. So as you're going through, as you're writing on test day, you can just tick these things off, and it means that you know that you're on track, reduces a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, means that you're going to write a great essay. Now we need to summarize the answers to both questions in our conclusion. So when we're writing our conclusion, basically we're just summarizing the answer to both questions. So what we can do is look at our introduction again and basically paraphrase this. So we start off with a cohesive device. In conclusion, comma, owning property will always be the preferred option for people who believe taking out a huge bank loan on real estate is a better long-term investment. So they have summarized that answer. However, I disagree because of the opportunity cost it involves by giving up the chance to make our own choices in life. So you can read just this introduction and just this conclusion, and you should be able to tell exactly what this person thinks about both questions. That is the hallmark of a good essay. And the main body is important, but the main body is really the meat in the sandwich. It is the ham in the hamburger. It is the detail. But these two are important also because it really just helps the reader understand what your main arguments, what your main points of view are. So if we look back and summarize, so like a good essay, we need to summarize what we're doing in our conclusion. So here's our conclusion for this video. So this is the step-by-step system you should follow. Number 1, understand the question. Number 2, generate ideas. Number 3, plan your answer. Number 4, write an effective introduction, then write your main body paragraphs and your conclusion, and then at the end, check your work for vocabulary and grammar errors and eliminate as many errors as possible. And as you will have seen, there are step-by-step systems for each of these things, and that's how we produce so many success stories at IELTS Advantage, is we break everything down into simple step-by-step systems that students find easy to learn and easy to use on test day, and have been proven year after year to produce a huge number of successful students. So if you follow that system, you will dramatically improve your ability to write double question task 2 essays. So I want to give you a chance to practice, and by making it a little bit interesting, we're going to run a competition. So what I want you to do is attempt an answer for the question below. I will pick one and make a feedback video for the winner. So I will look through the essays and I will pick the one that I think is the winner, and I will show your essay on the screen, and I will go through your essay step by step and give you feedback on your essay. Normally we charge like $30 or $40 for this service, and it will obviously help you with your IELTS preparation as well. So it's a chance to get a lot of help on your essays from myself, and I wish you good luck. So here is the question. In many countries today, crime TV shows are becoming more popular. Why do you think they are popular? What is your opinion of these shows? So, hope you enjoyed this lesson and put what you've learned into practice. It's really important that you don't spend your time preparing for the test by just watching YouTube videos. I know that we have a YouTube channel, but maybe 10% of your time should be spent watching videos. 90% of your time should be spent putting what you have learned into practice and getting feedback, because those are the two most important things. Just watching lessons is not going to help you improve really at all. Remember, you will be alone on test day. You will have to do these things on test day. And work on your weaknesses. By getting feedback, an expert will be able to help you identify what your weaknesses are, and then you're able to work on those weaknesses and turn them into strengths. Check out IELTSadvantage.com for more free help if you want that. And if you have any questions, chris@IELTSadvantage.com is my email address. We personally respond to 100% of the emails that we receive. If you want free help, you have a question, or you're interested in one of our paid VIP courses, feel free to send us an email. Thanks very much, guys, and I look forward to reading your emails, and I'll end this before I make any more mistakes. Thanks. Bye-bye.